Hello, this is Attorney Mike Gravel coming to you from Chicago. As usual, I've had a day. I've got a bunch of stuff. I'm not even going to try to thank people. It's a lot of the usual suspects. I grabbed some stuff, but I'm very excited. I've got Emily Baker on tonight. She's busted in Kansas. It's not Emily D. Baker. It's another Emily Baker, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to get around one way or the other. Oh, it's Friday night. It's happy hour. Let's get this party started, shall we?
The business of Monroe Circuit Court. Let's go off the record.
Hey, Your Honor.
Yeah, Mr. Howard there. What we got on hand?
He's on the show calls.
You're on the show calls docket. I'm going to give you till January the 18th to make some payment, okay?
Yes, sir. I'm currently in rehab right now in case y'all.
Okay, that'll be good. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, sir. Happy New Year.
Yeah. Okay. How do I turn this off?
I'm working. So you didn't say,
Here,
I need 20 times and you can't go back.
Here, Ms. Hunley, I want you to take this. I might beat myself to death, this damn thing, if somebody doesn't take it out. Commonwealth versus Michael Turner, 23 CR 0055. Mr. Turner, were you born in 1967?
Yes, sir.
That's 4 digits, your social security number 1161.
So,
So we're here for a pretrial conference. What's the story here?
Judge, you may not
This judge is in Kentucky. I haven't seen him before. He's a hoot.
recall last time Mr. Turner actually fired me. I have contacted the main DPA office seeking conflict counsel due to Judge Costello having a docket. I don't think anyone else from the DPA was available today. In fact, I'm covering some of their cases. So
What are you telling me?
well, Judge,
That he needs another lawyer and y'all hadn't lined him up yet?
correct.
Okay. What is he charged with?
Convicted felon in possession of a firearm.
Okay. Well, I'm going to set it for a conference day on January 12th, and I want a specific order to direct it to the Office of Public Advocacy to provide him with an attorney in time for them to go over and meet with Mr. Turner and prepare for that negotiation. I want him to talk to him before he gets to negotiation. His next court date will be January 18th.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Turner.
what about the bond? I'm on 25,000 cash only. I've been locked up now for about 6 months on this charge, stopping the guy from shooting me.
Yeah, well,
I mean, that's,
I'm trying to get you a lawyer lined up. You fired your other lawyer, I wasn't aware of that until today. What are the circumstances?
Evidently, he was in a dispute with 2 other people, and he was arrested because he had a firearm on his possession. The other 2 people didn't want to prosecute him, but he was arrested because he was a felon in possession of a firearm.
Yeah.
that's not true, Your Honor.
I'm just telling you what the police report said. That's all I'm telling you.
The police said, just take it. I've been shot and everything else over this, over my property. I've even been drugged and gang raped and poisoned, and I'm one locked up. Now this is a kangaroo court. Now I'm not being railroaded by a small court, and now they're trying to do it here. I'm not saying you are, Your Honor.
That's good that you didn't say that.
I mean,
That's good.
you're twice.
I wasn't aware that you didn't have.
He wouldn't
But here's the thing about it is I'm going to try to get an attorney appointed for you immediately to come over and talk to you. And then because you've been there as long as you have, and out of consideration the fact that you weren't appointed somebody as quickly as I'd like, I will have a special hearing about this as soon as we can get somebody to talk to you. I don't want you to say anything else that might incriminate you. You understand what I'm saying? But I understand your frustration. So we'll have somebody over there post this, okay?
And even medical attention about the bullets, I'm still active where I've been shot. And
Well, they'll come over and talk to you and bring anything to my attention, okay? So you're on my radar now, Mr. Turner, okay? Okay, thank you very much. Sonny Voorhees.
Boy, I'm just getting railroaded here.
Well, I'll go ahead and arraign him, I guess. Does he have an attorney? Let's bring him back out and arraign him. Robert McClendon. Give me Robert. Give me.
Yes.
Okay, now Commonwealth County versus Robert McClendon, 23 CR 0072 yard Robert McClendon, born in 1972. Last four digits, social security number 9729. Is this your client, Mr. Pennington?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
He is not.
The grand jury's returning indictment. You have a right to remain silent. Grand jury's returning indictment charging you with assault in the second degree. Theft and lawful taking disposition in criminal mission second degree. Here you go. Mr. Pennington, you acknowledge the identity of your client received indictment. Wait for more you can arraign and plea not guilty, reserving all pre-trial motion.
Yes, Your Honor.
Schedule a negotiation on January the 12th and the court date on January 18th. And I'm signing a reciprocal discovery order here. Commonwealth has to provide you with all the evidence they have in preparation. What is his bond?
I think it's 10 cash.
10,000 cash. Okay. Okay. You can have somebody come make your bond if you want to. Until then, you're in custody of the jailer. Okay.
Could I ask for bond reduction, Mr. Williams?
No, your attorney might make a motion.
Make a motion.
You can file a motion. I'll be glad to hear that.
Thank you.
The reason I'm not letting you do it today is because you're only allowed one of them. And if you're not prepared for it, I don't want you to waste that one. You understand what I'm saying? By law, you're allowed one bond reduction, and I will hear that. Okay, unless the Commonwealth reaches an agreement with you. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, does that finish the docket except for Barron County?
Best I can tell, Judge, Your Honor.
Okay,
Oh, I forgot about her.
where is she?
For some reason, she's not on my list.
She's
Oh,
So she's on next.
we needed more security up here. Where is the button at?
underneath. It's unhooked.
Me too.
I need the sheriff to send more bailiffs up here. You cannot handle this place by yourself. Tell them I want more bailiffs up here. I'm sorry for preaching, Lord. You see a red dot, dodge.
You missed me at Rudy.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Now,
She's not on the docket here
I
today.
think I
Let's go off the record for a second. Come up here for a second. Mr. McClendon,
Yes, Your Honor.
you've disrupted this court by going back there and kicking the door. I don't know what you're thinking, but we're just trying to process you through this thing.
Okay.
Now,
I'm sorry.
well, okay. And if you cause me any more problems, I'm going to put you in contempt. I can put you in for 6 months. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
I will not hesitate to do that. Okay, thank you very much. Take him back out.
Okay, I'm assuming that's a yes. Okay.
All right, so next matter, State of Kansas versus Jeffrey Cox, 22 CR 37. Would counsel state their appearance?
Okay, this is wild. I went through some of this call. Regeer's in here. The judge keeps calling him Reger, and so does everybody else as a result. This chick, Kristen Huerta, bottom right, I don't know what's going on with the do and the facial expressions. I cut most of this call out, but she was out there the whole time.
Just please.
Cheryl Pierce on behalf of the state, Your Honor.
Your Honor, Darren Patterson appear on behalf of Jeffrey Cox. Mr. Cox does appear from Sallyport 2. Your Honor, this is a warrant to show cause. I have reviewed that warrant to show cause with Mr. Cox, including a addendum to warrant to show cause filed in this case on December 12th. I would tell a court that following that conversations and discussions with Ms. Pierce, that Mr. Cox would waive hearing in this matter. He would be stipulating the violations. Upon the court accepting his waiver, finding violations, there is an agreed recommendation in this case to modify the sentence to 90 days, that he would immediately begin serving that 90-day sentence, and the case would close. Anything left on cost fees would go to collections.
Ms. Pierce, is that your understanding?
It is, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Cox, have you heard what Mr. Patterson and Ms. Pierce advised me?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
This guy's out there too, this defendant.
All right, you had a long pause there. I want to just, be sure that you're, are you under the influence of any medications or intoxicants at this time?
No, Your Honor.
You understand that you have the right
No, Judge, my baseline is just stupid.
to a hearing on the probation revocation or warrant to show cause. The state would be required to prove by a preponderance of the evidence those violations.
Anybody available?
I do, Your Honor.
And are you waiving your right to have that hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anybody threatened or coerced you in some fashion to this decision?
No, Your Honor.
And have you had sufficient time to discuss this with Mr. Patterson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that if I find that you're in violation, I do not, while there's a recommended that I modify the sentence, I'm not required to do so?
Yes, Your Honor.
And with that in mind, you still wish to admit the violations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well. I do find that he knowingly and voluntarily waives his right to a hearing on this matter with the advice of good counsel. I do find that he, okay, and there's a stipulation to the allegations for the violations. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I do find there's a factual basis for by a preponderance of the evidence, and I do revoke him. Does counsel wish to make any further statements before I address the sentence?
No, Your Honor. I believe Mr. Patterson did announce it correctly. We did, in fact, agree to a modification of 90 days and close upon the conclusion of that 90 days.
All right. Does anybody know how much jail credit, if any, he has already?
I do not know, Judge.
I'm going to look real quick, judges, to see if it might be on the earlier journal entry, if you'll give me one moment.
Right. Mr. Cox, do you know how much time you already spent in jail on this case?
I
Roughly.
believe 4 days, so two separate 2-day dips, and then I'm not sure on the original time that I sat, maybe 4 days, so like a week or 8 days in total.
All right.
Your Honor, he has done two-day sanctions. In this case, I do not know what his original time was.
According to the sentencing journal entry, he was given an underlying 12-month jail sentence.
He's good.
All right. Mr. Cox, is there any additional statements you'd like to make before I proceed?
I mean, just that since the alleged incident that I've made a complete change of my entire life. I believe the original violation was filed because I did not contact my probation officer within 24 hours of being convicted of another crime, in which I did contact him the second I had a phone, before I knew anything was filed.
Anthony, are you okay?
Okay, folks, you need to, we're in court now. Please don't be discussing matters.
Just that I really have, I believe that the biggest, where I failed was that I consistently discounted how severe the consequences to just my negligence of bureaucracy could
that's a small part of it
be. And although I'm not super happy to 3 months, if it's between 3 months and a year for contesting the fact that I waited 48 hours instead of 24 hours to contact my probation officer, I don't want to take the chances. That's the situation that I'm left in, Your Honor.
Well, the affidavit describes a lot more than just not reporting within 48 hours. You had a new arrest, you issue with the use of influence or the under the influence of methamphetamine.
Reported, Your Honor. I called in my probation officer and told him with no reason other than I was actually trying to do the right thing.
really should get a medal.
This says that you, at the Catholic Cathedral, you fell into the holy water and started swimming around?
Your Honor, those matters pertain to the High Church. I do not believe they are appropriate to be discussed in the American judicial system, and the Saline County agreed as well. Charges were dropped.
A little swim in the holy water. It's none of your business, Judge.
Mr. Cox, are you employed?
I am. I resigned from my job, knowing that I'm going to jail for 3 months. I was employed previously at Applebee's.
Come on, say it. Say it. You sell burritos sometimes too.
Well, I will modify the original sentence. I am ordering that he is to be taken into custody following this hearing. He is to serve 90 days from today. Then he will be released. Mr. Cox, if you're in the position to take care of any
So is that my thumbnail? Applebee's and holy water.
financial issues that you have, I suggest that you do that. If upon your release, that they haven't been paid by that time, then it'll go to collections. But that will conclude your sentence on this. Mr. Cox, it appears to me that you've got some issues in regards to addiction issues. I strongly encourage you to address those, follow through with the treatment. It's been my experience, the people that get the treatment and really apply themselves, it's maybe very difficult, but they can beat it. And it's been my experience that people don't keep coming back to the court system. And that's not a way I would want to live my life. I hope you don't want to live your life that way either.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Counsel, anything further on Mr. Cox's case?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Cox. You are remanded to the sheriff at this time. Good luck to you.
Your Honor.
Very well. Next matter is State of Kansas versus Kristen Huerta, case number 22 CR 458. Counsel, state their appearances, please.
Gary here on behalf of the state.
Joshua Andrews on behalf of Ms. Huerta, and she is also present.
And you are Kristen Huerta?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure.
All right. Counsel, are there any announcements at this time?
Your Honor, at this time, we are requesting that the matter be set for jury trial.
I'd like to announce Ms. Huerta's hair is fantastic.
Very well. That'll be set on the jury trial docket for misdemeanors. I believe that is, and the clerk may be able to correct me on that, I believe that's scheduled for February the 6th.
Unfortunately, I have a number of other hearings scheduled on February. It would be February 7th, Your Honor.
That's probably it. That the 7th is a Wednesday, so I think they do start the misdemeanors on Wednesday.
I have two other misdemeanor trials scheduled that day, so one way or the other, I will be.
It'll okay. So we'll set it. This counsel, is that a 9 o'clock docket or a 9:30 docket?
Your Honor, I believe those are typically set before Judge Webster at 9.
At 9? Okay, so we'll set it on that docket. Well, actually, they'll need to be the docket will probably be the Friday before.
It's actually, I'm sorry, it's the Monday before February 5th at 9.
All right, February the 5th at 9 will be the pretrial. But counsel and the parties need to be prepared for trial on February the 7th. It'll start at 9 a.m. there at Butler County. Ms. Huerta, I strongly encourage you to be sure to stay in contact with Mr. Andrews. Make sure he always has a way of contacting you. Your next court appearance is February the 5th at 9 a.m. on that docket. That'll be a Zoom hearing, but the trial will be in person on February the 7th. Any questions about that?
No, it said February the 5th at 9 o'clock and then February the 7th at 9 o'clock.
Correct. All right.
Okay.
Counsel, anything else we need to address today?
This seems disappointing because she didn't freak out. However, we get some more information on her in just a minute here.
Not on that, Your Honor.
Very well. With that, then, this matter is adjourned and the parties are free to go.
Okay.
Next case. Excuse me.
Your Honor, I do not mean to interrupt and be rude. I am Melanie Penrod, Kristen Huerta's mom and guardian, and we had faxed in some stuff to Mr. Rager, or actually the DA's office about Kristen.
Mr. Rager, that's stone cold to you, ma'am.
The last
Okay, ma'am, what case are you referring to?
22 CR 458.
What's the name?
Kristen Huerta, Huerta, that you just set for trial, ma'am. Or sir. Sorry. It's been a bad day.
And you're
the judge
to the case?
It's been a dead day and a bad day.
Sorry, sir.
Your
I did not
connection
hear
to
you.
that case?
No, I'm her legal guardian, but I am trying to inform
The meth is strong in this family.
you that the last judge said that if she made any more threats or had any more contacts with her father, she would be arrested. She has relapsed. She's back on drugs. She's stopped taking her medication, and she has made more threats to kill him. We
Right,
have
your
faxed
husband-
that into the DA. She told her that if she did that, contacted him in any way, that she would be immediately arrested. I just wanted to bring that to your attention, sir.
Well, it's been brought to the attention of the county attorney's office if they see fit to, or feels there's an appropriate way to address that. I can't address that. There's at this time, there's not a case before me on that, nor was there a motion in regards to the issues that you raise. So
okay,
that'll be between the county and Mr. Andrews is still here, and that's who his counsel is. So thank you.
I just wanted to inform you, sir.
Thank you.
I
All right.
apologize for
Thank you.
intruding.
All right.
Have
Next
a good
case.
day.
Thank you. Next case is State of Kansas versus Silas Littlebrave, 23 CR 232. Is counsel present? And you can announce your appearances, please.
Care to review on behalf of the state, Your Honor?
Joshua Andrews on behalf of Mr. Littlebrave, who I believe is in custody. Your Honor, a conflict of interest is developed in this case with another case that I am involved with another client in a different court. And so I need to request to withdraw from this matter.
Very well.
Okay, do you know?
Ms. Pierce, anything you'd like to state on that?
No, Judge, actually, it's Mr. Regrier's case.
I saw
Okay,
you.
I'm sorry.
Your Honor, I do not believe I can speak, as I do not have any personal knowledge regarding the indications made by Mr. Andrews.
All right, we'll allow Mr. Andrews to withdraw based upon a conflict of interest. And Mr. Littlebrave, have you hired an attorney on your own?
No, I haven't, Your Honor.
Very well. Are you still requesting court-appointed counsel?
I have Mr. Watts on a separate case. I was wondering if I could get him, if possible.
Well, I don't know if he'll accept it on is there a conflict that Mr. Patterson had?
I previously had a conflict, Judge, which I believe is why they went to Mr. Andrews. I can tell the court that a lot of times when Mr. Watts has a felony case, that he does accept misdemeanors along with it.
All right. I will appoint counsel based upon the information that was prior submitted in regards to being indigent, unless there's a correction to that needs to be made. So if Mr. Watts agrees to accept it, I have no objection to that. Mr. Littlebrave, do you know when your next court appearance is in the other case?
I believe January 16th or 17th, I believe.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
it appeared that the defendant is referring to 23 CR 267. I am showing Mr. Watts as court-appointed counsel in that matter. It looks like that's currently set for the 19th for a pretrial hearing.
Well, Mr. Littlebrave, in this case, first thing we need to address is your counsel. I've approved appointment of counsel. If Mr. Watts will accept it, that's fine with the court. If not, then we'll have to get somebody else lined up that other than Mr. Andrews or Mr. Patterson. Next matter is you were to appear on November the 17th and failed to do so.
Patterson finally escapes one.
Bench warrant was issued for you with a no bond hold, I believe.
Yes, Your Honor.
3,000. Okay. No, he's to be held without bond. So that's where we're at today. Does counsel wish to address that, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, far from me to counsel the court to overturn an order previously ordered by a sitting judge. I believe it was, based off my notes, it was Your Honor yourself who had ordered that.
Yes.
Okay, tone it down there, you apple polisher.
All right. Mr. Little Brave, you want to, anything that you'd like to tell me in regards to your bond?
I was going to make it, but Watts informed me a couple days before when I was at work that I was you set the warrant out, but they weren't active. And I got off and I repeatedly tried to turn myself into you guys, and they won't take me in without an active warrant.
It's Watts' fault, but can you point him for me on this case too?
And I was working and everything, so I mean, I made all my other court dates on time. I tried to turn myself in, they won't let me, and then I ended up here. But other than that, I just need a bond so I get back to work.
Where is it you work?
I work for Miracle Drywall in Augusta, Kansas.
How long have you worked for them?
Roughly about a year and a half.
Why is it you missed in the first place?
Well,
I'm shocked. This guy's a drywaller? I would have never guessed.
Long story. Me and my wife and her family, we don't see eye to eye. So I was technically in between places to live. So I was staying at a buddy's house, and I don't have a phone, and it's just really hard. It was just really hard to keep in contact with you guys, but I tried my best. And like I said, I wasn't running or anything, so I tried to turn myself in as soon as I knew I got the warrant. They wouldn't take me in Augusta unless I had an active warrant. So
you said you forgot that you had the court appearance?
Oh, no. I did not forget. It's just hard to get a phone during the time of it. And then I just figured the cops were going to come get me and then we'll handle it like this. But I don't have a phone and I just had not a steady place to stay. But I mean, if I'm able to make bond with Philip at Second Chance, I'm going to see if I get out of his sober living house here in El Dorado and then just continue going to work from here.
Yep, Judge, just looking for some sober living and hanging some sheetrock. That's all I want. I don't need laps in the holy pool, none of this. I'm a simple man.
That was my plan anyway.
All right, I'm going to
And Your Honor, if the court does consider it relevant, I'm looking through the prior notes in this case. It looks like there have been 2 prior failures to appear, both back in November and September, so in quite close proximity to each other. It looks like for about half the hearings, including this one where the defendant has actually appeared, it looks like that the defendant has appeared in custody. So whatever the court wishes to make of that.
all right. I'm going to set your next hearing for January the 5th at 1:30 on that docket. I'm not going to modify your bond at this time. You've had too many failure to appears. So it'll be a no bond hold. January 5th at 1:30 will be the next hearing. So your counsel will be advised that you are still at the county jail. Anything further, counsel?
Not from the state, Your Honor.
Anything further, Mr. Littlebright? Very well. With that, we are adjourned. All right, now we're back to Baker. The council had an opportunity to discuss the Baker case.
Yeah. I give you Emily Baker. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. This is almost as good as the time that I had Shaquille O'Neal on.
All right, now there's multiple cases. So what cases do we have today? 23 TR 3031 is the one I had before me.
Your Honor, we're asking the court to take up 3 cases. One of them is the 23 TR 3031. And the next one I would refer the court to is 23 TR 1514. And the last one is 23 TR 2421.
Oh, this is a quality appearance too. I didn't just put her on because her name's Emily Baker. This is a quality appearance. You're going to like it.
Patterson appear on behalf of Ms. Baker. And Your Honor, I can make an announcement on all those cases and kind of explain it to the court.
All right. And Ms. Pierce, do you agree those are the three cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection to taking up all three today?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. Counsel, I've got that one file, so I have no objections to taking these matters up. But I am without a file on the last two that you mentioned. So
that's all fun.
Are there any announcements at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. Starting with 23 TR 3031, there are 2 counts in that case. I would announce at this time Ms. Baker is going to plead guilty to count 2, driving while habitual. Straits agreed to dismiss count 1, driving while suspended. Further, Judge, then moving on to 23 TR 2421. There are 3 counts in that case, Your Honor. Count 1, driving while suspended. Second is being dismissed by the state pursuant to plea negotiations. Ms. Baker is pleading guilty to count 2, failing to register a vehicle. And count 3.
Actually, thank you, Gray Duck. I should point that out. A lot of people aren't going to know.
Driving while habitual. The state has agreed to dismiss 23 TR 1514 in its entirety.
Okay. What is the date of the alleged violation in 2421?
Your Honor, that is May 19, 2023.
All right, Ms. Pierce, is that your understanding as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has there been an agreement or negotiations concerning plea recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, counsel could recite those, please.
Yes. Going back to the 23 TR 3031, the recommendations will be as to a $200 fine, 8-month controlling, 1-year reporting probation, follow all standard conditions of probation, and an order that she not drive until she gets her license reinstated. And then as to the 23 TR 2421, as to count, excuse me, Your Honor, give me one moment here. As to count 2, that is the failure to register the vehicle, the tag, that's a $50 fine. We'd request an
Hang in there, it gets worse.
underlying sentence of 30 days in the Butler County Jail, 1-year probation, reporting probation, and I did say a $50 fine, I hope. As to count 3, that is the driving habitual, that would be a $200 fine, 8-month controlling, 1-year reporting probation, all other standard conditions of probation to include getting her driver's license in order, Your Honor.
All right, would these be a first and second offense for driving while habitual violator?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay, counsel, I don't have that statute in front of me, and I don't have the statute book with me today. Is there any mandatory jail sentence? I remember on a third offense, there's mandatory jail.
Your Honor, there are no mandatories on a first and second, and I would tell a court that the purpose of this plea bargain that's been set out here is to assist Ms. Baker as far as can be, in that the pleas here will not extend her habitual violator status. She does get her license back I believe next year. But it also then puts her up to the second, so that if she would drive again as a habitual, she'd be facing the third violations. As the court noted, there are mandatory requirements there.
And there was also the issue of she failed to appear on November the 8th. All right, Ms. Baker, have you heard what the attorneys have told me? You're still muted. If you'd unmute, please.
I apologize. Yes, sir. I've heard the attorneys, what they've said. Yes, sir.
All right. You understand that with well, several things. First of all, if you're with a plea of guilty, you would be waiving your right to a trial, to the court or to a jury. Are you wishing to do that?
Waive my right to a trial? Yes, sir.
Yes. All right. Do you understand that with a plea, I don't know if is there something on your microphone or something that's rubbing that's causing that noise?
Well, maybe that'll help. I was just holding on to it, I guess, was making that noise.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Ma'am, are you a whore?
I'll start to come back again, whatever that noise is. So if you go back to what it was there for a moment, that'd be pretty fun. All right. Do you understand that while recommendations of counsel, the court would consider the court's not required to follow that in regards to your sentence?
Yes, sir.
You understand, counsel, I believe these are B misdemeanors both, correct?
A misdemeanor.
A misdemeanor. With an A misdemeanor, you could be placed in jail up to a year in the county jail and a fine not to exceed $2,500. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you understand those could be concurrent or consecutive, meaning back to back?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And are you under the influence of any medication or intoxicant at this time?
No, sir.
Anything that interfered with your ability to think clearly?
No, sir.
Or do you understand? Has anybody forced or threatened you in some fashion to make for you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Counsel, is there a stipulation that to a factual basis in this case?
Your Honor, in both of the cases, there would be a stipulation that's contained within those cases that they do on a factual basis.
I
Very well.
didn't hear anything that he just said.
Now, yeah, we're starting to get some other interference, and I'm not sure where that's coming from.
Judge, I think
My guess is Emily Baker.
that we'll have to keep her on mute until it's time for her to talk and then have her go back off mute.
Okay. Mr. Patterson, would you mind repeating what you did in regards to the stipulation of facts?
Yes, Your Honor. Would just tell the court that there is a stipulation to the affidavits contained within each of these cases, and that those affidavits do contain a factual basis for the court to make a finding of guilt.
Very well. I do find that there is a
Yep, everything they said about my client is true. She's guilty. Let's carry on, shall we?
factual basis for both these cases. And I do find the defendant guilty on in 3031 for driving while habitual violator, and in case number 2421, failure to or driving a register that's it's not a vehicle that's not registered, and driving while habitual violator. Find that the defendant has the advice of good counsel and has waived her right to trial and freely and voluntarily. And I do find her guilty of those offenses. Counsel, is there any additional statement that you wish to make before I pronounce sentence?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Baker, is there any statements that you'd like to make before I pronounce sentence? You're muted. You'll need to unmute now.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Baker, why were you not at court on November the 8th?
November the 8th. I think that
You can stay in one place, please.
I'm trying to take care of this little old lady. I was confused about the last time I went to court and we put two of them together to be seen on the same day. I thought that was it. So
I mean, Judge, she really was confused. I am 100% certain that she was confused at that time. She's confused currently. Basically, she's always confused.
I didn't know I had a warrant. My neighbor called me and told me the sheriffs were at my house, so I went and turned myself in on that warrant.
Okay. Is there any statement you'd like to make in regards to before I pronounce sentence on the offenses that you committed?
No.
All right. Ms. Baker, how long have how long have you not had a driver's license?
I believe since 2022.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I know. Okay, if you can go ahead and mute it, please. Your screen.
And Your Honor, I would just tell the court that on her current driver's license status, she is in habitual violator status. It's until May 3rd, 2025. That started on May 3rd, 2022. So those 3 years will run through that period.
All right. What were the violations that caused them to be a habitual violator status imposed?
They are no proof of insurance, Your Honor, and El Dorado Municipal Court, Butler County District Court appears.
All three of them?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Ms. Baker, is there anything else you want to tell me before I pronounce sentence?
No, sir.
All right. You can go ahead and mute your screen so that you can hear. All right. Ms. Baker, I appreciate the statement that earlier that, you know, you're trying to get your driver's license back and you won't be driving. But you weren't supposed to be driving on these two other occasions. So you're in a situation where you're kind of your worst enemy. You keep making the same mistakes with driving. And you need to understand you don't have any legal basis or grounds for driving at all. You can't drive. Do you understand that? Okay, you can unmute.
It's cool, Judge. She just plans on traveling from here on out.
When I ask you a question.
Understand.
You understand? Do you have some arrangements made so that you won't have to drive?
I do have some arrangements made in place for work because that's really where I was trying to go. And I've applied for a hardship license twice and been denied both times.
All right. Okay. What are the arrangements you've got then? Well, first of all, where is it you work?
I work for a home health care company, but I do 24-hour care, and my boss actually brings me and drops me off, and I'm here for several days at a time, and then she comes and gets me. Just one more minute. I'm so sorry.
All right. Okay. Ms. Baker, you can mute your screen now. Ms. Baker, part of my problem with the driving while habitual violators is because it does take 3 major violations to even get to that status. And then you still have these other things. I'm accepting your statement in regards to how you had your court confused, but it's kind of when somebody has so many cases that they can't keep them straight.
I think she's gone, Judge.
We'll wait and see if she gets reconnected.
I love how it's very subtle. I love how Darren Patterson did that. It's like, I see you winding up here for your big speech, but she's gone. You also know her clients are getting top-notch care.
Judge, I'll try and call her also.
Okay, thank you.
Emily Baker, everyone. Another round of applause. That fantastic performance. Don't worry, there's more.
I've had 4 numbers, Judge. I've tried them all. I'm not getting a connection at this point.
Oh, I cut out a big gap there, too.
Hold on just a second.
Am I back? Can you hear me?
Ms. Butler?
Hello?
Ms. Butler, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sir.
This is Emily Baker, correct?
Yes, sir, it is. I'm getting ready to start my video. There we go.
All right. Ms. Baker, on all these various cases that you have you ever gone to jail for any period of time?
Oh, yeah. Yes. And also, I don't really understand why my license was taken in the first place.
Really?
So, but that's neither here nor there. Yes,
Okay.
I've been to jail.
Please stand
When I
still.
turned myself in, sir, I was in jail for probably 5 days.
Ms. Baker, please stand still.
I'm sorry. I'm at work, sir, and I'm trying to have a little privacy from my client. I'm in the back room now.
All right. Ms. Baker, you're I don't know exactly how old you are, but you're not a
Meanwhile, our client's flatlining out there.
kid. But you keep coming back with these same offenses, and whether or not you believe that you agreed with the state of Kansas for suspending your license, the fact is you have been declared an habitual violator. You cannot drive.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you've spent time in jail before, then that's my consequence available to me, is to fine you and or jail you. And you're kind of using these things up.
I understand, sir. Just trying to get to work and, make a living.
Well,
and I've applied for the hardship license, like I said, and my license, I don't believe it should be suspended anyways. And I've tried to hire an attorney about it.
Okay.
Nobody will listen
Judge, she doesn't believe it should be suspended. So relax already.
to me or give me the time of day. So
Ms. Baker, you need
2015 is why they violated my license.
Ms. Baker.
Yes, sir.
You need to understand. You can't drive.
I do understand.
And there's no excuses. All right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oftentimes with the driving while habitual violator, I do give people jail sentences that I impose and have them do.
Okay.
And I'm inclined to do what the parties have asked me to do, but frankly, I'm concerned that you're going to keep doing the same, making this same mistake. But I want you to understand something. I'm going to give you your sentence, and I'm going to tell you how this works as far as how I view these probation violations. I am going to place you on probation for.
Sir, I need to plug my phone in, or I'm gonna lose you again. So I'm plugging in. I'm sorry. I don't mean any disrespect. Okay, I'm plugged in.
All right, Ms. Baker, in regards to 3031, I'm giving you a controlling jail sentence of 90 days in the county jail. I'm placing you on 1 year of reporting probation. I'm imposing a fine of $200. Additionally, I am going to assess court costs and attorney's fees. The attorney's fees will be $250. You will need to make out a payment schedule with your probation officer. You'll need to contact your probation officer following this case once we're concluded with court. In regards to 2421, in regards to the failure or the tag violation, I'll impose a $50 fine. I'm not going to give you a jail sentence for that. However, for the driving while habitual violator, I am going to impose a $200 fine and 120 days in the county jail. I'm going to run those consecutive. That means one after the other.
Ouch.
I'm placing you on probation for a period of 1 year on this second case, 2421. So you're going to be on probation, but you're going to have 90 days and 120 days if you violate the terms of your probation. Now, I don't know if you listened to me when I was dealing with some other people, but I often tell people how I view these probations. You're an adult. These are pretty simple and straightforward conditions of probation. If you make choices to violate it, particularly driving and any law violations, misdemeanor and above, is going to be a violation of your probation. It'll be a standard Butler County misdemeanor probation. If you choose to violate it, you're telling me you're making a choice knowing what the consequences are to serve those jail sentences.
Yes, sir.
And the reason I tend to just let people, if they violate, is if I make that finding that they violated, it's have them serve their sentence. So you got a lot of time, over 6 months, or I guess 7 months now, over your head. And if you keep doing like you've been doing, you're going to serve every day of that 7 months. So I want you to understand this when if you get tempted to get behind a wheel of a car without being properly licensed. Because I'm not going to be very sympathetic saying I don't believe that I should have lost my license in the first place.
Yes, sir.
So, your liberty is going to be up to you in a lot of regards. So, if you keep that in mind when you're thinking about doing something you're not supposed to or not doing something you are supposed to, that's on your probation. Following this hearing, you need to contact the probation officer. Their office number is 316. Do you have a way of writing this down?
Yes, if you give me just 1 second, 'cause I moved from my table here. Okay. 316
322
322
4153.
4153.
You are to report as they direct, and you'll also have court costs on the 2421 case. I've already imposed an attorney's fee on the 3031 case, so I'm not going to impose an attorney's fee on the 2421. But all right. Counsel, any questions or?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, and my brain might have strayed there. Did she get the phone number yet?
Yes, I gave her the phone number and she read it back.
Thank you.
Ms. Baker, do you have any questions?
No, sir. So this is it. I don't have to come to court again. I just need to get a hold of my probation officer.
Not on these cases. I don't know if you've got other cases.
Oh, no, there's no other cases.
Okay. Yeah, you need to contact your court services officer following this hearing, and they'll make an appointment to speak with you.
Okay,
But sounds like you're going to need to get some arrangements made to get transport here and there and so forth.
Yes, sir.
Because I've told you how I feel on these things, so that rest is up to you. So, okay.
Thank you, sir.
If there's anything further, then Council, if there's nothing further, we are adjourned and you're free to go. And I believe this is the last hearing for the day. Is that correct?
Okay. So just for the record, I will have you know, I don't believe I've ever spoken to Emily D. Baker in my life. She's never done anything to bother me. Nothing. She's completely innocent. I just simply took advantage of the fact that this woman has the same name. For my part, this is simply a crime of opportunity, and I loved it. I'd do it again.
All I have, Judge.
All right. Dawn, did you need me for any other matters? Ms. Baker, thank you. You're free to go.
Thank you, sir. Have a good
No,
weekend.
sir.
All right. Very well. But, well, council, have a good evening. And
oh my gosh, it is a double rainbow. I cannot believe it. It's a freaking double rainbow.
Payment was made in March of 23, and that he'd been on a payment plan for 6 years, but for some reason dropped off the face of the earth. As of March of this year, we haven't had a payment since. Understand that the order to pay is part of your original case, and it is still an order of the court, even though it's 10 years old. Violating that order could be contempt of court. Contempt of court is its own criminal misdemeanor. You would have all the same rights if it's charged that you have in any other criminal case. The maximum jail sentence is 93 days. The maximum fine is $7,500. But what I'd rather do is see if we can address this with you. What happened? You've been paying through March. What happened?
Okay, in March, I'm in the process of getting new teeth made, and me and my wife's son had a disagreement. He threw a plate and hit me in the face with a plate, and I had a bunch of stitches in my
It's old Gabby. Gabby showed up to court.
mouth and get teeth pulled out. So I got arrested for a domestic or whatever you call it. 3 times I've been arrested by her.
Yeah, we call that domestic violence. That's what we call it here in court.
Son that lives with us. And 3 times I went to jail, and all 3 times they dropped the charges. I was going to take it to jury this time. So from March until August, end of August is when the divorce was final. So I couldn't go to my house at all. I'm still wearing the clothes that I've had on my back when I left the house. Everything I got was left behind, and she gave my dog away, a Boston Terrier. I loved him to death. I bought her a nice big. I bought her a
Mr.
big
Howell, I
dining.
think I've got it. I've got it.
I'm homeless, basically.
Okay. Are you working at all?
No, I get Social Security, but I was working and getting Social Security, but my banks gave out. I talked to Social Security last week. I got to talk to them.
Just answer my questions. I don't need a long explanation.
I'm not
okay?
working, but I get $600 a month, which ain't a hell of a lot to live off of. But I could still resume if I could still pay what I was paying before. I was paying $25 a month, plus all of the other court $25 a month. I explained it to them, but
all right,
I never
I
explained it to this court.
All right, thank you. So you have no other income other than the Social Security that you're receiving every month. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, I don't know how you can survive on $600 a month.
Luckily, the guy's only charging me. He's only charging me the electric bill and stuff like that, you know. And I'm not.
Okay. All right. It appears to me that you are unable to make payments on this account. That you, given your medical situation, aren't able to work at this point. So rather than chase you around and have to bring you into jail every time you fail to keep up with your end of the bargain, and given that you have paid over half of this amount, the original amount, I'm sorry, yes, over half of the original amount, I'm going to go ahead and forgive the remainder of $1,237.63. That doesn't include any restitution. I don't think it's in your best interest or my office's to keep trying to collect on this 10-year-old debt, given your circumstances and that you are receiving only SSI right now. So, sir, it's your lucky day. I'm going to forgive your debt. We'll sign the paperwork. You should be able to get out later today, okay?
I appreciate it.
All right, good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Williams, you excited, Mr. Showalter, y'all excited for the last night court for the year?
Oh, I didn't realize that. I guess so.
Exactly.
Last night court of the year.
Is the list actually getting shorter? Because we got an email from one of our supervisors saying, like, once the Orca list is gone, then they'll stop sending emails about who's got who and such. And so I'm like, is there really like a list that you're going through on this?
We have a list, Mr. Robinson, because I mean, it depends. It gets shorter, then there's more on it, then it's shorter, then it's more on it, then it's shorter, it's more on it. So
okay.
we don't know. But you know, the indictment list this week is getting so much longer.
Yeah.
Yep. I think for the list, it's a
But
gift
today-
that just keeps on giving.
That's exactly what it is. And then which case was that? I was just talking about today. Oh, it's with Mr. Albert. So there's one case, Miss Trevoria, and I think Miss Williams, that Miss Gibson that may want to talk about bond tonight. And I told her it was fine if Miss Williams agreed to it or whoever's going to be on.
You mean it was added on for Mr. Spellers? Is that the one that you were talking about?
No, it was one today. What was her name?
It was one that was added on for, I thought it was Miss Medinger. Are you saying someone else?
No, this is a Miss Hill that I had this morning who had another case.
Miss Hill, that case.
I didn't know if she was, I said only if Miss Williams could be ready because it wasn't,
It was originally on for Monday, the 11th, correct? Was that case?
No, because she had two cases. One I just heard in prelim today, and then there's another case that she doesn't have a bond on. Let's see.
Oh, okay.
So, and I told her if Miss Hill or whoever's going to be on, Miss Hill, Miss Williams was okay with it, and that we could hear it tonight. But if not, it would obviously just have to wait. The one today that was an armed robbery, Miss Hill, on the 9:30, is 23 CP 217256. She had been in jail 262 days without indictment and with no bond.
Okay.
And there's another case I think was fairly close in time that she may also be in there for a very long time and not ever have had a bond. So a couple that just like slipped through the cracks, I think. So that's why I told her, okay, maybe as long as she got in touch with you and gave you time to look at it.
That's fine. I'll take a look at it. She did mention it to me. So yes, I will take a look at it real quick.
Okay. I just want to make sure she would have that for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Miss Eustace, is Mr. Dobbs coming this evening? I mean, I have no reason to think he won't, but I'm just checking.
I will reach out to him, Your Honor, and I also did get an update on that Worrell Spiller case that we had on Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Marks, he is actually privately represented by Jonathan Melnick.
Oh, okay. So what he just needs to, okay.
Mr. Melnick just filed an entry on one or two of, there's a couple of cases on there.
Right, but I didn't see an entry. I'll reach out to him. I didn't see an entry on this case.
Correct. And we reached out to him, and Mr. Marks got an email communication saying that Mr. Melnick was taking all of the cases and he would file these entries as soon as possible.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I think tonight, Miss Eustace, no, he has two, but there's one, Mr. Schwent, where there's an ex parte, but I think it was just filed in October.
Is it Kenneth Sweat?
Chad Swint.
Swint. Okay, I will.
Number 5. So if he doesn't need to be pulled, and is that booth 7? Is that booth 3? No. Okay. So there's one though, and so I don't know if the ex parte is back. I didn't want them to have to pull him if indeed there was an ex parte pending that,
I will look into it and find out, Your Honor.
Thanks.
Judge, if there's a page iPhone, I don't know if that's Miss Medinger on her iPhone, I'm gonna admit it, and then if it's not, then I'll remove it, okay?
Okay.
Because that may be Miss Medinger since she's joining. She said she was unavailable. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yes, Judge, that's her, Miss Mettinger. So
Oh, okay. So I shouldn't give Miss Mettinger the spill that I will give her a name change for free if in fact her last name is iPhone.
Yes, Judge. I'll change my name shortly. Thank you.
I mean, that's just my normal spiel, but I won't.
There is some fun stuff that happens here, but I didn't have time to edit.
So, gentlemen, you got to stay in your boots, keep your heads up. Don't put your heads down. Please don't play with your hair, etc. Okay? When I call your name, you need to wave. I don't know who you are. Your lawyers need to be able to see you. That's why you need to keep your head up. Okay? So, when I call your name, raise your hand immediately. Don't sit there for a few minutes and be like, is that my name? Do I want to raise my hand? Okay, raise your hand. Make sure you pay attention. I'm going to address your charges and bond. Now, gentlemen, this isn't a prelim where I could dismiss charges or anything of that nature. All I'm going to address is bond. I'm also going to address your conditions of bond. Your conditions could be stay away from people, no contact with people, stay away from Fulton County, stay away from MARTA, stay away from Georgia Tech. The list goes on and on. Okay. So make sure that you pay attention. Your public defender should and will mail you a copy of your, and they email it to you too, to an email address of your bond order. Please make sure you keep that and look at it. And if by chance you don't get it and you bond out, please make sure you reach out to your attorney and get a copy so that you will have a copy of it. If I tell you to stay out of Fulton County and you end back up in Fulton County because you don't remember your bond conditions, I would hate to see you get rearrested. Okay, gentlemen, give me a thumbs up. Everybody hear me? Outstanding. Okay, everybody here, you are on mute, so we're not going to be able to hear you. It doesn't matter if you yell and scream and bang on the walls. Okay, you're on mute. Your lawyers don't want you to talk either. So we're not going to be able to hear what you're saying. So all you're going to do is listen today, okay? You won't have a chance to speak. Thank you, gentlemen. And what time is it? 5 o'clock. Where's Bostic?
Uh-oh. No Bostic.
Where is Bostic? Did you say she wasn't coming today, Miss Williams?
I thought she said she would be. I thought Bostic said she would be here.
Right. I think she was just messing with me. Let's see. Where's Bostic? We have to dock Bostic's pay. Let me see if I can't get her on the phone. Bostic's here. All is good in the world. So it looks like we don't have anybody here except for the folks that are in the booths yet. So let me. Internet's acting up a little bit here. Let's see. No speller. Let's see. Let's start with number 18. Once again, gentlemen, when I call your name, make sure that you wave at me so I'll know who you are. Make sure you stay seated upright in the upright position so that we can see you, okay? When I call your name, wave your hand. Your lawyer needs to see who you are, and I need to see who you are. So please, make sure you do that for me. Please, please, please. All right, so I'm going to start with Demetrius Pryor. Do we have a Demetrius Pryor?
Judge, sorry to interrupt you. Jill has asked if you can take Mr. Mott in 7 South Booth 3 first.
All right, let's see. Okay. Oh, Mr. Dobbs, is Mr. Swint going to go forward tonight, or are you still waiting on the ex parte results?
We are still waiting on the ex parte.
All right. Set it out 30, 60 days.
Thank you.
Okay. Was that you want me to set it out 60 days, Judge?
What do you think, Mr. Dobbs?
Let's go with 30. I went over to the jail to try to get him to sign something because the PhD person needs it, and they couldn't get him access to it. I'm gonna try again to tomorrow. I'm thinking 30 will work.
Okay, it's Chad Swint. Chad Swint. So, Mr. Swint, did you hear that? Mr. Dobbs was coming to see you to get you to sign something that couldn't get you. So I'm sure he'll probably be over there shortly and get you to sign it, okay? And we'll get you back up here shortly and do your bond hearing. So yours will be reset today, sir. You can go ahead and leave the booth. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. All right, let me see. Let's see. All right, Torin Mott. You can go ahead and leave, sir. You can leave the booth. Thank you. All right, Torin Mott. Torin Mott. All right, there we goes, Mr. Mott. If you're not a lawyer, I'm turning off your camera. All right, let's see. Miss Kennebrew. Miss Kennebrew, where's Miss Kennebrew? Miss Kennebrew's not here yet. So let's see.
Reach out to her, Judge.
Okay, what about, let's see, we don't have Demetrius Pryor. We don't have Miss Kennebrew. What about hey, and we do need Miss Chavez, right? Tonight?
Yep, Miss Chavez is going to join shortly.
All right.
Thank
How
you.
about Kendall Thomas? All right. Do we have this PD yet? Where's Mr. Cyrus? Oh,
Yeah,
there we go.
Judge.
All right. All right. It's number 12, Bostic. Kendall Thomas, 23, CP 216919, 282 days without indictment. There's a $10,000 good bond as of July 25th. I think he had another case and it was indicted.
Was declined, I believe, Your Honor.
Or declined, yeah. So we got 23 CP 216919, Kendall Thomas, simple battery against a peace officer, willful obstruction, felony. Rah.
17 cycles, 1 felony of criminal damage to property that's owed, 4 misdemeanors, a PI, and another CWAC charge in 2019, 3 arrests for probation violation, FTA in 2018, nothing further.
All right, go ahead, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Thomas is 25 years old. He's a lifelong resident of the state of Georgia. He has family here, including his mother and his brother. We have been able, through the work of our social workers here, been able to get him accepted into a MH program at the Hope House. He was accepted on October 31st of this year. And so we are hoping to get a bond that he and his family can afford, and so that he can be released to the program.
Is that residential?
Yes, it is residential. It's a full inpatient treatment, and so he would be there housed, and then they also work on getting him skills and training for job and substance abuse if that problem exists. And so he's been in over 260 days. The incident date on this one, I think, dates back to March of this year. Case is still unindicted. Your Honor, we would be asking for a bond here not to exceed $4,000.
All right, counsel. So it was October 31st. Now, some of them will say they have an empty bed then. Is it now? Is it still so?
Yes, Your Honor. The note, the letter that I have from the Hope House is that he's been accepted. The only thing that they're waiting on is for him to provide a negative COVID-19 test.
Okay. All right. What
He
says
hasn't
this?
accepted.
All right. What says the state?
Your Honor, the state recommends for the simple battery charge a reduction to $3,000, for the willful obstruction charge a reduction to $1,000, and we request that there be a clause put in that Mr. Thomas would need to be sent directly to the program, transported to the program.
Okay, and then once he makes it, counsel, just send me the transport order. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Let's see, and then is the Hope program, is it in Fulton County?
Yes, Your Honor, it's located
All right,
at
we'll take the whole-
275 Washington Street.
All right, well, we'll take out the whole state out of Fulton County. Okay. Oh, let's see. No further contact with Deputy Lieutenant J. Hambrick, Hambrick, listed in the official capacity, and then no further violent contact. All right. You're going to have a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical. This includes participation in that program, MH, and also employment or whatever the Hope program, Hope House has you do. You have to let your lawyer know the places you are going and what you are doing, sir. 2,000 and 2,000. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth, and I will include his name on my email for the evening.
So, Judge, is it a bond amount and the Hope program?
Yeah. Yes.
But that is he will do a transport order for the Hope program. Is that a on the street program?
No, put in there that there'll be a transport order submitted by his attorney.
Well, this is an inpatient. Okay, thank you.
And we also just got an update from Miss Kinnerbrew. She was stuck at the jail. She said she will be on in just a few moments.
Okay, no worries. All right, what about Starsky Horton?
Judge.
Oh, yeah.
Judge, it's Miss Benninger. I know you said South Annex isn't here yet. I do have my personal conflict at 5:30, and I know we talked about taking my case. So I'm happy to waive his appearance, as I know there's issues with South Annex having people get on.
All right, let's see. What's the name again?
Spellers.
Oh, okay. We'll go ahead and take that since I know you do have that. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Number 2, Bostic Darius Spellers, Spellers, 23 CP 221851, 220 days without indictment, no bond as of November the 14th. Aggravated assault, riot in a penal institution, and unauthorized possession of a prohibited item by an inmate. Pre-trial.
Spellers, 19 Cycles, 2017, aggravated assault, riot, FTA in 2011, open case 23 SC 188456. Firearm obstruction, McBurney, 23 SC 189054, criminal damage, aggravated stalking firearm during 23 SC 189253, armed hijacking act, 2 counts, cruelty, third, firearm during, 2 counts. There's an old judicial hold, 11 SC case, nothing further.
All right, and Mr. Kendall, you can leave the booth. Mr. Kendall Thomas, you can leave the booth. Go ahead, Miss Medger.
Yes, Mr. Spellers is 34 years old. He was born and raised in Atlanta, has been living here his whole life. He's got family here, his mom, sisters, aunts, and cousins, and his mom is very involved. He does have a good address. The address that I have is in Noonan, but his girlfriend, who he's planning on living with, has just moved, and I haven't gotten her new address, so I'm unsure if that's in Fulton County, so I would ask that there not be a stay-away order. His girlfriend does have a 9-year-old daughter that him and her co-parent together. He also does have a 12-year-old and 11-year-old as well. Before being arrested, he was working at Antigo Tire and Wheels for about 2 months, and he believes he would be able to return. He does have some MH issues, and as you heard, has some other open cases. He has been stabbed multiple times in the jail, including in the top and the back of his head, causing some concussion-like symptoms that I've seen in and out with him through my time being his attorney. For those reasons, I'd be asking for a bond total not to exceed $10,000.
All right, it alleges that this victim was stabbed. Go ahead, what, Ms. Williams?
Judge, I'm sorry to interrupt. South Annex may be on with Mr.
All right. Hey, South Annex, if you see Mr. Spellers, you can put him here. We're doing his, okay? Because
Okay.
Yeah, that was subtle. Yeah, you know, I'd feel worse for the defendant being stabbed in jail if he didn't stab his victim. Yeah, you know. Anyway, moving on.
I got him right here.
Okay, go ahead. All right, go ahead, Mr.
Okay, Your Honor, the state recommends for Mr. Spellers for aggravated assaults. We recommend $4,000 for riot and penal institution, $3,000, and for unauthorized possession, 2,000.
All right. So we got no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons, no further contact with buried Hobbs, HOBBS. You're gonna have a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you're going to be working. But I think it's best that you live with your mother, so stay out of Fulton County, sir, unless you're here for court or to see your lawyer. I don't think you need
Judge,
yes.
I don't have a confirmation of where his mother lives. He's planning on living with his girlfriend so he can co-parent the.
Well, I mean, I think it's best maybe that he lives with
Plus, I'd like to add that it was a quiet riot.
his mom if he's having these issues until he gets through this little rough spell right here. You said his mom lives in Noonan. Sir, does your mom live in Coweta County? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs down. Does she live in Fulton County?
Your Honor, she stays in Hateville, so I'm not sure what county that is.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I want him to live with his mother instead, okay?
Just say she lives in DeKalb, all right? She'll let you out. She'll dump you on DeKalb County all day long.
All right, and he also must live with his mother. So we'll take stay out of Fulton County B. Must live with his mother. 4,000, 3,000, and 2,000. 4,000, 3,000, and 2,000. Best of luck to you, sir. You could leave the booth. All right, let's see. Did Miss?
Thank you, Judge.
Yes,
and may
ma'am.
I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Have a good one. If I see you tomorrow, if I don't, have a good holiday.
You as well.
Is there? Let's see, Miss Kennebrew. Not yet. Okay. What about Starsky Horton now? All right, Mr. Horton. Now that's Miss Kennebrew too. Sorry, Mr. Horton. What about Anthony Goodwin? No, Anthony.
Judge Stace put a message in the chat that he was still in downtown court. Pick someone from the jail.
All right. All right. What about, is Mr. Dobbs on yet? Yep.
He's down at ACDC, Judge. Let's carry on.
Okay. What about, let's see, how about Karante Tinson? All right,
I might have spent too much time here.
Mr. Tinson. Here we go, Mr. Dobbs. Number 20, Bostic 23, CP 220940. 125 days without indictment. No bond as of August the 12th. Aggravated assault, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and cruelty in the third.
Does he have two positions?
Good job.
Number 21.
Yep, 21. 23 CP 220941. 125 days without indictment. Once again, no bond as of August the 12th. Ag assault, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony.
12 cycles, couple misdemeanors for theft by shoplifting at FTA and 2219 SC 171387 meth and criminal trespass. Open 23 CP 217925 controlled substance misdemeanor possession drug related objects. Open. Nothing further.
Go ahead, Mr. Dobbs.
Thank you, Judge Manning. Mr. Tinson is 25 years old. He is a native of at Atlanta. His whole family lives here. I have had contact with his mother. Pretty much all of his family lives here. He has never been anywhere else. Mr. Tinson is of very limited means, and candidly is residentially challenged, and also has reported certain MH concerns. We're currently working.
This poor guy sounds like he's like nervous to ask a girl to a dance. It's odd.
I have made a social work order referral to get him into some sort of mental health program. I suspect that ultimately, if the case is not indicted soon, we will have to seek some sort of bail assistance, and they, of course, will not pay unless he has some sort of stable placement. So I'm going to ask for a total bond to be set, not to exceed $10,000. So that we can hopefully at some point get working on that. The only reason that he is entitled to a bond at this case on this case is because the state has not indicted it. Of course, what he can or cannot make is a factor in his bond. So I'm asking for the bond to be set at an aggregate of $10,000. Thank you.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state has concerns with the fact that, there seems to be a risk to reoffend. We also have concerns about making sure that there is no victim contact due to the seriousness of the allegations, firing a gun in a car. The state would recommend on the case ending in 940 for aggravated assault, 15,000, for possession of firearm, 10,000, and for cruelty to children, 5,000. For the case ending in 941, the state would recommend aggravated assault, 15,000, possession of firearm, 10,000. No contact with the victims and stay away from the offense locations, and of course, no weapons or replicas of weapons.
All right, and what did you say on the ag assault on position 20?
15,000.
Okay, all right. Position 20 ending in 0940. No
That might be High Noon's fault at this point.
drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Stay away from 1739 Cheshire Bridge Road Northeast. Does he have a address, Mr. Dobbs?
No, Judge, I have none to report.
Okay. No further contact with Santonio, Santonio Farrell, Ferrell, and no further contact with Kyzerion Farrell, Ferrell. And that address
Antonio.
is Tokyo Valentino, so you can't go back over there, sir. 15,000, 10,000, and 5,000. Position 21, 0941.
But Judge, I'm gonna miss Antonio.
No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Stay away from 1739 Cheshire Bridge Road Northeast. That's Tokyo Valentino. No further contact with Alonzo Wilkinson. And all of these, and this one was shot in the leg. So in both of these, sir, you're going to have a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you're going to be working. And also, sir, you must supply an address upon release. So I'm sure Mr. Dobbs is going to try to find you a place to live. When he does, you have to supply that address to your lawyer and to the court. 15,000 and 10,000. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth.
And Judge Manning, I just wanted to let you know, I'm not sure if you're aware, I will be covering Mr. Few's case for Ms. Hanson. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, Torin Mott. All right, Miss Kennebrew.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here. My apologies. I was interviewing clients at the jail.
That's okay, Miss Kennebrew. All right, I thought you were avoiding me.
No, ma'am, not at all.
Not yet, right? All right, let's see. Mr. Torin Mott, 23 CP 215709, 324 days without indictment, $15,000 good bond as of August 28th on false imprisonment. And 23 CP 215895, 324 days without indictment. There's a $60,000 good bond as of August 25th on aggravated assault and aggravated battery. Pre-trial.
17 of cycles, couple of arrests for probation violation, FTAs, misdemeanor terroristic threats, and fair evasion, currently on probation for felony terroristic threats, 9/21/22, 2 months confinement, 2 years, 6 months probation, nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Kennebrew.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Mott is 26 years old. As you're aware, he has been in custody for 324 days without indictment. He does have his support from his family, his mother, Ms. Kamika Mott. He does have an address where he can reside, and that will be in Fulton County. He is a lifelong Georgia resident. He did graduate from high school. He was arrested on January 25th. He had his preliminary hearing on March 28th of this year. So we are now in December, and he is still yet to be indicted. We're asking for a $5,000 bond on case number 23. On case number 24, we are asking for a bond not to exceed $10,000 total.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to make the court aware that the victim in position 23, Ms. Story Williams, she is on the call, or was, and also the victim in position 24, Ms. Neri, is present. She would like to speak. She will need the assistance of the interpreter.
All right, let's see, Ms. Chavez.
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You raise your right hand. You swear or affirm you'll translate from English to Spanish, Spanish to English, to the best of your knowledge, skills, and abilities.
I do.
All right, 5 South, booth 3, have a seat. 5 South, booth 3, have us. There we go. All right, Ms. Chavez. So where is the lady that needs the interpreter? Miss Neri, is that it?
Señora
Yes.
Neri,
Sí.
She can
Yes.
start her camera.
Por favor, usted puede encender la cámara.
Ok. Sí, está bien.
If she could raise her
Your
right
Honor,
hand. Yes, ma'am. Miss Kennebrew.
I would just like to limit the questioning to specifically how she feels about bond. I don't want to get into the facts of the case at this time.
Absolutely.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Your
Miss-
Honor.
Ms. Chavez. So I'll let y'all ask her, Ms. Chavez. Swear in. You swear a firm testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Señora, levante la mano derecha. Usted jura y afirma solemnemente que el testimonio que va a dar será la verdad, nada más que la verdad y toda la verdad.
Sí.
Yes. One North, booth 3. Stop. All right. I tell you what, Ms. Neri, please tell me how you feel about bond only.
Señora Neri, quiero que me hable acerca de cómo usted, qué es lo que piensa solamente acerca de si se le da fianza. Solo eso.
Pues si se le da fianza, la verdad a mí me da miedo de que me vuelva a pasar algo porque regresé al mismo trabajo y pues sí tengo miedo, o sea, lo que yo viví fue muy duro.
Okay.
Casi pierdo la vida. o sea.
Okay. If they give him bond, I'm afraid that something else is going to happen to me. I got to go back to the same job. To tell you the truth, I'm afraid I almost lost my life.
Okay. Any questions for Ms. Kennebrew?
No, Your Honor. I just would like for her to be aware that he does currently have a bond.
Quiere usted, la abogada defensora dice de que usted tiene que entender que el señor ya tiene una fianza.
5 South, booth 3. If you have to go get meds, you could step out and get them and come back. But if not, keep your seat. Okay. Well, there's nothing else going on out there. And who is the victim in position 23?
Miss Story Williams was.
I am still here.
Yes, she's still
And you
here.
need to start your camera.
I am trying.
Start.
There it is.
All right. If you raise your right hand for me. You swear firm testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right. Just go ahead and tell me how you feel about bond only, ma'am.
No, unless he has some mental health services.
Okay. So Ms. Chavez, if you could also say this for Ms. Neri so she can. So right now he has been in 324 days.
La otra víctima, señora, está diciendo de que no quiere que se le da fianza solo si le dan algún tipo de tratamiento mental. La juez le quiere decir a usted que el señor ha estado encarcelado por 324 días ya.
And he does have bond.
Y tiene fianza, pues, impuesta.
As he's entitled to bond after 90 days.
Y después de 90 días, el señor tiene derecho a tener una fianza.
So I'm going to address bond again this evening.
Así que voy a tratar la fianza otra vez esta noche.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Chavez. Go ahead, Ms. Williams. Don't forget about Ms. Chavez.
Thank you, Your Honor. For position 23, Ms. Story Williams did state that she is not in favor of bonds. So then the state's position would be that then she is not in favor of a reduction in bond. Of course, we would always defer to the authority of the court.
En la posición número 23, la víctima Tori Williams está diciendo que no está a favor de que se le dé fianza. Igualmente no va a querer que se le reduzcan la fianza, pero por supuesto, dice la fiscal, eso se lo va a dejar que la juez decida.
Maybe.
The same would apply to position 24. Ms. Neri did say that she is not in favor of bond. So the state's position, therefore, is that Ms. Neri is not in favor of reduction in bond.
Igualmente, en la posición número 24, la víctima Neri, la señora Neri dijo de que no estaba de acuerdo que se le diese fianza. De la misma manera estamos diciendo, dice el fiscal, que no queremos que se le reduzca la fianza.
To the extent that Your Honor is in favor of reducing bond, the state would request, of course, stay away orders. We would also request that the defendant be ordered to stay away from MARTA.
acerca de si su señoría usted decide darle fianza, entonces estamos pudiendo, dice la fiscal, que le imponga la orden de que se mantenga alejado de las víctimas, igualmente que se mantenga alejado de las estaciones de Marta.
And obviously the state would request that Your Honor consider making the bond high enough to encourage Mr. Mott's continued appearance at hearings.
Y también le pedimos, su señoría, de que usted le dé la fianza lo alto suficiente para animar al señor Mott que venga a sus audiencias.
Every day it's the same thing on this. Yeah, I want to keep it high enough to keep people safe, but I want to make it low enough to inspire the prosecutor's office to do their job.
Thank you.
Ms. Kennebrew, I know before it said he was homeless. Is he still homeless?
His mother is willing to allow him to come back come to her home so long as some conditions are followed. So no.
Does she live in Fulton County?
Yes, Your Honor.
La cual está preguntando al abogado defensor de que si la abogada defensora ha dicho de que él es indigente. Ella está diciendo de que no, la madre ha dicho que él puede vivir en la casa de ella siempre y cuando siga condiciones. Ella vive en el condado de Fulton, la madre.
Ms. Kennebrew, was there an ex parte?
No, Your Honor, one isn't necessary.
Okay, I can't believe I've had this on this long.
Okay.
This is what happens at happy hour.
All right. Number 23, ending in 5709.
La posición 23 que termina en 5709.
No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons.
No puede utilizar drogas solo si son prescritas por un médico, no puede portar armas y tampoco tener imitaciones de armas.
Stay away from 855 East Paces Ferry Road.
Tiene que mantenerse alejado de 855 East Paces Ferry Road.
And no contact with, ma'am, I'm sorry, I'm going to destroy your first name. Vitiz Story Williams.
No puede tener contacto, discúlpeme señora, yo voy a decir mal su nombre, Vitiz Story Williams.
And it's VEETAZESTOREY Madam Court Reporter. Also, you'll have a 24-hour curfew.
Además, usted tiene un arresto domiciliario de 24 horas.
Court, lawyer, medical appointments.
Solo puede salir para audiencia en los tribunales, ver su abogado o citas médicas.
And you have to abide by the rules that your mother sets out at her house.
Usted tiene que respetar las reglas que su madre le imponga en la casa.
The classic court order, listen to your mama. Mm-hmm. I mean, I agree with it, but come on.
De ella.
Is that adequate, Ms. Kennebrew?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Okay. Sir, you have to stay away from all MARTA property.
Señor, usted tiene que mantenerse alejado de todas las propiedades de Marta.
Oh, bus stops, trains, anything. If you go by a bus stop, you cannot sit down on that bench and tie your shoe. That's a violation of your bond condition, sir. You have to walk beyond that bench and tie your shoe.
Señor, si usted no puede ser ningún tipo de propiedades de Marta, no puede ir en estaciones de buses o en estaciones de metro. Si usted necesita sentarse en una banca de una estación de buses para amarrarse un zapato, no puede hacerlo ahí, tiene que mantenerse alejado de eso.
And I'll put this on my email, Ms. Kennebrew, $12,000 good bond.
Le voy a dar una fianza de $12,000.
All right. And position 24, ending in 5895.
Y la posición 24 que termina en 5895.
Same thing. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons.
Igualmente, no puede poseer drogas, no puede poseer alcohol, no puede poseer armas y tampoco réplicas de armas.
You have a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, and you must follow all rules of the house of your mother, and you must live with your mother.
Usted tiene que solamente salir para ir a ver al abogado, al tribunal o al médico, y usted tiene que respetar las reglas de la casa y tiene que vivir con su madre.
Ms. Kennebrew, if something happens and she tells him to leave, just send us an amended order. I mean, I get it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Si algo sucede y la madre le dice que tenga que salir de la casa, déjeme saber, señora abogada.
No further contact with Miss ELEANS Milt, last name Neri.
No puede tener ya más contacto con la señora Elemilit Neri.
Stay away from all MARTA property. Buses,
Manten-
trains, bus stops, anything that says MARTA, you cannot go around it, sir, just like the other one.
Usted igualmente que la otra posición puede que mantenerse alejado de todas las propiedades de Marta, estaciones de buses, estaciones de tren, todo lo que diga Marta, usted no puede estar cerca.
$25,000 on each count for a total of $50,000 good bond. Best of luck to you, sir.
$25,000 para cada uno de los cargos, un total de $50,000 de fianza. Suerte, señor.
He can leave the booth. Thank you, Ms. Chavez, and
Eso es todo.
thank you, Ms. Story Williams and Ms. Neri.
Thank you. Gracias, señores. Es todo. Your Honor, I would like in the chat to have the name and the cases number. Thank you.
Okay, how about I send you a picture of the calendars?
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Chavez. That's all we need her for, right?
Okay.
To my knowledge, yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Chavez.
Señora Neri, eso es todo. Puede colgar. She's talking, Your Honor.
She could. So I can't hear her because she's on.
Puede abrir el micrófono.
Y por ejemplo, los gastos del hospital, yo los estoy pagando. ¿Quién los va a pagar?
Who's going to pay the doctor bills?
She could talk to her victim advocate about all of that, okay?
Señora, en el tribunal hay unas personas que se llaman victim advocates, las que hablan con las víctimas. Usted habla con.
Let me answer that for you. Nobody. You don't have a civil cause of action because the criminality cuts off the liability. And the way you would get that paid is through restitution, but that guy doesn't have a dime and never will. So it sucks, but that's where you are.
Esa persona.
Okay.
Okay.
Gracias.
Thank
Gracias.
you.
Bueno.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Story Williams. Mr. Mott, you can leave the booth. And we don't have ACDC here yet, do we? Oh.
No, Judge, I think he's working on that.
Okay, let me just get back to
Let's bring
see.
ACDC
Do we have
in
Forsyth?
here. Put this place up, huh?
You know, I have the calendar. I will be able to get it. It's 24 and 23, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
All
You all
right.
have a good day.
You too.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, hold on, let me get where we're at. Let me get to the last part here. Okay, what about? Let's see. Where's it? What about Starsky Horton? All right, there we go. Here you go, Miss Kennebrew. Number 22, Bostic, 23 CP 220858, 128 days without indictment. What you want me to do, Miss Kennebrew? There is a $100 good bond on 9/20/2023 on burglary in the second degree. Pre-trial.
34 cycles, one in Georgia, FTA at Hove out of Macon, and one out of Waynesboro, 8 arrests in Texas, 25 in Tennessee. There's a couple death by receivings, prior burglary, nothing further.
Go ahead, Miss Kennebrew.
Yes,
Everyone's losing their mind.
Your Honor. Mr. Horton received a consent bond of $100 via the state as well as my supervisor, working in tandem to get him a reduced bond. That bond was set on August 10th. Mr. Horton is 42 years old. He graduated from high school. He is supported by his uncle. He was working at Clearance Shoe Store as a cleaner prior to being arrested. We're asking for a UJR, Your Honor. He's been in custody for over 120 days, and we would just be requesting a UJR. The case has not moved since August 31st, which was his preliminary hearing. The state hasn't indicted the case, not certain if they will. So we would just be asking for a UJR in this case, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Your Honor, to my understanding, since the offense is burglary, I don't think it can be given a UJR. Is that correct?
It is a bail restricted offense.
I completely forgot. Your Honor, we'd be asking for a $10 bond.
Ms. Williams.
You
just want me to end up on television, don't you, Ms. Kennebrew?
I do not, Your Honor. I just want the state to indict the cases. No offense to Ms. Williams. I just want the case to continue to move. He has been sitting here since August.
We're watching, Judge. We are watching right here at Law Talk with Mike. Do not go $10 bond. Do not do it to me. Do not do it.
31st. It is now December. The case has not been indicted, and he shouldn't be penalized
You know we love you.
before. Or indigent, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Go. What do you think, Ms. Williams?
Your Honor, the state recommends $50 good bond.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's see. How about
Let's meet in the middle.
25?
25. There we go. We'll take
right.
that.
$25 good bond, sir. No drugs unless prescribed. No alcohol. No weapons. No replicas of weapons. Stay away from 350 Peters Street. That's Novin, Novin Cosmetics. I mean, is that it? No. I cannot read my dang handwriting. Forget about the name. That's the address. And he must supply an address where he's going to live. A $25 good bond. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, let's see. Do we have Anthony Goodwin? You can lay the booth, Mr. Horton. Anthony Goodwin.
Judge, they sent a note, the jail did, saying that he was in downtown court. I'm not sure if.
Oh, okay, he's still not back yet. Okay, let me.
I don't know if the attorney wants to waive his presence or have him the case reset.
Mr. Dobbs.
I'm the attorney for Goodwin.
Oh, I mean, Mr. Showalter, yeah.
Yeah, and I can keep waiting a bit. I'm just wondering what they mean by he's downtown court. He has no other hearings going on.
I can see if the jail can advise, since they put it in the chat, and see if they're able to get some more information for you.
Okay, but I would prefer to wait on his appearance rather than unilaterally waive it.
All right, so and Mr. Sweat is reset. What about, let's see, Mr. Dobbs, let's see, what about, how about, let's see.
Thank you, Andrea.
My list here. We also have Jaquan Mathis. All right, now we're cooking with gas. Mr. Rhodes. There we go, Mr. Rhodes. Thank you. Number 13, 23 CP 216069, 327 days without indictment, $40,000 good bond as of June the 1st on hijacking a motor vehicle, first degree. Pre-trial.
2 cycles. Other case 23 CP 215635, firearm during theft by taking, purchase, manufacturing, sale, obstruction. Nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Rhodes.
Yes, thank you, Judge. Mr. Mathis is 18 years old. He has been in custody now for 327 days. He was arrested back in January. We've had the preliminary hearing, of course. Some charges were dismissed at that time, and now he's currently in jail just on a hijacking charge where the bond is set.
Judge, it's just a hijacking, and my hair is fabulous. That's all you need to know.
At $40,000. We're asking for a significant reduction, considering the amount of time he's been in custody without indictment. Judge, again, he's 18 years old. He would be living with his hold up, making sure I didn't. Yes, he'd be living with his grandmother in Conley, Georgia. He's been living, generally in Georgia his whole life. He does have a 1-year-old daughter who has just turned 1 year old 2 days ago. As of now, this daughter barely has had Mr. Mathis in his life, and he would like to be present for his daughter's life, fully, completely has that.
Not enough to refrain from, hijacking.
Intention, but he has unfortunately been in custody for almost all the days that his daughter has been alive. Still, Judge, he would look forward to working with his father, who's doing construction currently. We've been in touch with his father. They are trying to get him, essentially on the straight and narrow, working. He also wants to pick up a second job, working at a fast food restaurant, just to again be able to support his daughter, who he is proud of. We're just asking, Judge, for a significant reduction for Mr. Mathis, again, considering the 327 days that he has been in custody without indictment. We're asking for a $1,000 bond on the hijacking charge.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. The state would recommend on the charge of hijacking a motor vehicle in the first degree, the bond of $25,000.
All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no further contact with BELEL, last name ALAWA. Stay away from 3749 Main Street in College Park. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. You're going to have a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, and the exact location you'll be working. Stay out of Fulton County, sir, unless you're here for court or to see your lawyer. That's the only two reasons you are to come to Fulton County. Don't stop for gas. Don't go to Chick-fil-A, etc., etc. $25,000 good bond. Best of luck to you, sir. All right, let's see. What about Demetrius Pryor? Mr. Pryor, I'm sorry, I didn't see a hand wave. Okay, thank you, sir. Who's handling this one? Because it says Mr. Nobles. Anybody, which public defender is going to handle this?
Your Honor, I would believe that it probably would be Mr. Nobles. If I may have a moment, I will reach out to him.
Okay, all right. Stand by, sir. What about, okay, is it Peter Caballero? All right. He doesn't need an interpreter, right?
Correct. No interpreter.
Okay. All right. Number one, Bostic 23 CP 217104. 269 days without indictment, $7,500 good bond as of July 27th on aggravated battery.
Five cycles, couple of misdemeanors, no prior felony convictions, nothing further.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Rhodes.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Caballero has been in custody now for 269 days without indictment. As noted, bond is set at $7,500. He's not able to afford that currently. Mr. Caballero is 40 years old. He's a lifelong Georgia resident. No FTAs, as you know, you've heard, and no prior convictions. He graduated from high school in McDonough, completed some college at Kennesaw State University, and had just essentially gotten out of an abusive relationship just before this charge, or the incident related to this charge occurred. I'm unsure if the state has had contact with the alleged victim here, who I believe was a neighbor of Mr. Caballero's at the time. He will not be returning to that address and does not have any intention in any way of maintaining any contact with this neighbor that happened to live next door. He would be living still here in Georgia, but we are asking for a reduction of bond significantly. We're asking for a $1,000 bond, or at least for the state to give us a timeline as to when they may move forward and indict this case.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Your Honor, due to the severity of the injuries, and together with the fact that the state has not had recent contact with the victim, the state would recommend $4,500 bond.
No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Is he going to live in Fulton County?
We're not entirely sure. The issue, Judge, is he does have connections. He does have people he can stay with, but he doesn't know phone numbers exactly. So we haven't been able to reach out to anybody. He hasn't been able to reach out to anybody, but we are fairly certain that he'll either be in Fulton or Cobb County.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think cell phones, I don't know a lot of numbers by heart anymore either. Kind of the scariness of cell phones.
Yeah.
All right. Stay away from 621 North Highland Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia. You're going to have a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, employment. You have to supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, and the exact location you'll be working. And must supply an address upon release. $5,000 good bond. Best of luck to you, sir. And I'll put his name in my email. All right. So we got here. I think everyone else except for, you can lay the booth, sir. If I have handled your case, you can leave the booth. Who's this in 1 North? This is Demetrius. We don't have Mr. Noble. So who's in 5 North? Anthony Goodwin. And whose case is that? Mr. Showalter. Anthony Goodwin. Is that you, Mr. Goodwin? There we go. All right. Position 14, Bostic. 23 CP 220827. 130 days without indictment. Let's see. Use of a firearm by a convicted felon during the commission of a crime and possession of marijuana unless announced. It is a $25,000 split bond with possession of marijuana unless announced to UJR as of August the 8th. 130 days without indictment.
25 cycles, couple of simple battery, a battery family violence, couple of arrested probation violation, couple of FTAs, open battery, 23 CR 0048664G, and on probation for aggravated assault, false imprisonment, firearm doing, firearm by, 10-2-21, 3 years confinement, 7 years probation, nothing further.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Showalter.
Anthony Goodwin is 29 years old and he's an Atlanta native. His entire family is in Atlanta and he has a good address of record here in Atlanta as well. And I'm asking that the court lower his bond, considering he's still in the same bond since August and he hasn't been able to make it. And so I'm asking the court to lower it to either a signature bond, or if you can't do that, then something under $10,000.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Your Honor, due to the allegations involve some severe violence done to the victim, of course, the state will be requesting a stay away from the victim, a stay away from the victim's home and any other locations. The state will recommend at this point a $15,000 bond.
All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Stay away from 2025 Virginia Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia. No further contact with NASTARJAH, last name Glover, GLOVER. You're going to have a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you'll be working. It's $15,000 and UJR through the jail. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth. Anybody get in touch with Mr. Noble?
Your Honor, I have sent a message but have not heard back.
Any update on the other ACDC or Foresight?
Judge, I think they're trying to get to join. I'll see if I can get an update from Lieutenant.
All right, so why don't we take this? We got the add-on cases for where are those go? Let me get my stacks of paper in order here.
Your Honor, I have Mr. Grooms and he's on if you just need to fill some time.
All right, yeah, let me see. I did with that piece of paper. All right, let's see. Let me see. Let me get there. Oh, yep, there it is. Let's see. There we are. All right, let's see what we got here. All right. That's fine. We'll on the add-on counter right now. We will do Reginald Grooms, Bostic. Where is Mr. Grooms? There he is. Mr. Grooms, you turn your camera on. All right, position 3, Bostic, 23 CP 215515. Reginald Grooms, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Mr. Grooms, sit up, sit up, sit up. You were laying in a bed.
Been out since July the 16th, nothing further.
Of 2023?
Correct.
All right. Go ahead, Miss Eustace.
Yes, Your Honor, as you heard, it's been almost 6 months that he has been on this ankle monitor with no issues. He was also in custody for several months prior to, so we would be asking for his ankle monitor to be removed by the standing order.
All right, Miss Williams.
Your Honor, the state at this point, Mr. Grooms has only been on the ankle monitor for about 6 months. The state would ask for a little bit more time.
What's a little bit more time?
perhaps another 2 months, Your Honor.
Let's see, hold on 1 second.
Your Honor, he was also in for 181 days on this charge before release, so he had been in for roughly 6 months as well prior to his release.
All right. How about we do this? It'll be an even 2 weeks. December 28th, you can take it off. How about that? Sound good? Send me the order saying they can take it off December 28th. And get off December 28th, sir. Best of luck to you. You go ahead and lead the meeting.
Thank you. I'll prepare that order and email it over.
All right, thank you. Let's see. Is Ms. Hanson here, or are you going to handle it for Ms. Hanson?
I can handle Mr. Few for Ms. Hanson.
Okay. Let's see. Where's Mr. Few? If you turn your camera on, please. All right. This is number 4, 22 CP 210-781, and Tavio Few. Theft by taking felony and theft by taking misdemeanor. Trial.
Since January 7/23, nothing further.
Go ahead, Mr. Dobbs.
Thank you, Judge Manning. Mr. Few is a native of the Atlanta area. He's a lifelong Georgia resident. He currently resides in Ellenwood with his mother. He works at State Farm Arena doing mostly janitorial tasks. And he is also he was in
chilling in Rosemont, big time.
At Mays High School at the time of his arrest on this case. I believe that messed up his finishing. I believe he's currently obtaining a GED. As stated by pre-trial, he's been out for almost a year. We're about 3 weeks away from him being out for a full year. And I believe he was in jail on this charge for about 5 months. So he's been out for almost a year. I'm not aware of any issues with any sort of monitoring. I think this is his first ever lifetime arrest here. I think that since his release on January 7th, he's done everything right, and there has been no issues whatsoever, no new cases, no issues with any monitoring or curfews or anything. So because of his good job being out on bond, because the case is over a year old, getting kind of close to a year and a half, and still unindicted. He's been having to live under these conditions, but he's done well. We don't know how much longer it's going to be unindicted. So for those reasons, I'm asking for a modification of his bond to remove any monitor and to lift any curfew. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Williams?
State has no objection.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Pugh, he's going to send me an order, and we're going to remove your ankle monitor, okay? So I'm sure Ms. Hanson will reach out to you. All
she
right?
will.
Be nice to your mother. Have a good holiday, Mr. Pugh. You can go ahead and lead the meeting.
Thank you, Judge Manning.
What about Corey Jeffries?
May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Have a good holiday if I don't see you.
Thank you. You as well.
All right. All
Merry
right.
Christmas,
Mr.
George.
Jeffries, you're going to have to get in some daylight. Somewhere where I can see your face. There we go. All right. It's number 1, Bostic, Corey Jeffries, 23 CP 215718. Aggravated assault, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Pre-trial.
Been out since August 7th, 23, nothing further.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Kittebrew.
Yes, Your Honor. He has been out of custody since August 7, 2023. He has no violations of a stay-away order or no violations of no further contact. We're asking and requesting that his ankle monitor be removed.
It's August of 2023?
August 7th of 2023, correct.
Ms. Williams?
Your Honor, the state again would be, given the severity of the allegations, the state would be asking for, so it's been since August, the state would ask for the amount of time that Mr. Jeffries have on the ankle monitor to total 6 months at least.
And Your Honor, we would be objecting to that. The ankle monitor isn't if she can provide violations by my client with the ankle monitor, we don't have an objection. However, she won't be able to provide any violations, and so we will be objecting.
All right. Strenuously. All right. All right. Well, I'm gonna leave it on just a little bit longer. So wait a little bit longer after the first of the year. Mr. Jeffries, okay? Keep your nose clean and y'all come back. All right. Thank you, sir.
Judge, you want me to
Thank you,
reset
Your
this
Honor.
one again for you to hear?
Sure. You can set it out a couple months. Yeah, that'd be good. That way you won't have to file a new motion, Ms. Kennebrew. Thank you, sir. Have a good holiday. All right, let's see. What about what I got here is Paul Nelson on here real quick? Nope. All right, so we'll go back here. What about, all right, is this Kamaya Fredericks? Is that your name, ma'am?
This is Shantia Floyd.
Shantia Floyd, okay. Let's see, Shantia Floyd, where's that? Okay, Shantia Floyd. Number 9, Bostic. 23 CP 220273, 150 days without indictment. No bond as of. Do I see somebody drive? Miss King, come on now. You can't be driving and being on Zoom. 23 CP 220273, 150 days without indictment. No bond as of July 19th. Aggravated assault, possession of firearm during the commission of a felony, and possession of firearm by a convicted felon.
Floyd, 17 cycles, battery, prior cruelty in first, ag battery, 2015, currently on probation, aggravated assault, firearm, 19 SC 166333, 62819, 1 year confinement, 9 years probation, nothing further.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Rhodes.
Thank you, Judge. Miss Floyd is 44 years old. She's been in custody now for 150 days with no bond. At this point, of course, she is entitled to a bond, so we are asking for a reasonable bond. Miss Floyd is from Georgia. She's been here her whole life. The incident location was essentially her address. However, since her confinement for the past 150 days, she's no longer able to live at that apartment. She will not be returning. She will not be likely to intimidate anyone there. But related, Judge, she has been accepted into the Women on the Rise program. Miss King is on the Zoom call. That is the person who is driving. But she is here in support of Miss Floyd. With Women on the Rise, they do provide housing for Miss Floyd. She would have a place to go. I believe they're headquartered in Hapeville, so maybe that's where she may be staying, though I'm not entirely sure. They will also provide her other services, including mental health services and counseling. But she will have support and a place to live and people to turn to once she's released from jail. She does have a high school diploma as well as completing some college. Prior to her arrest, she was doing housekeeping with Emory University, but would not be returning there upon her release from jail. She does suffer from anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, and does take several medications for that, as well as issues relating to carpal tunnel syndrome and a pinched nerve and fibromyalgia and a bulging disc in her spine. We are...
This today, Your Honor, my health is in jeopardy right now.
What's that?
I have IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, and what's been going on is
Very stressful.
I'm bleeding inside, ma'am.
Bottom line, really just asking for a reasonable bond to be set for Ms. Floyd, to an extent not to exceed, really, Judge, $5,000 in total. Well, I would ask, Judge, for $5,000 on the aggravated assault and $1,000 on each of the weapons charges. I would note as well for the court, she does have a hold out of Emory Police Department. I don't know if that's going to be incorporated into Greater DeKalb County or not, but there is a hold that is holding her in jail regardless. So at this point, she wouldn't be eligible for the bail project in any way. So again, women on the rise, they are accepting her. 5,000 on the aggravated assault, 1,000 on each of the weapons charges. Thanks.
All right, will they transport her? Or will you need a transport order?
You most likely will.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. The victim in the case was actually, the allegation is that the victim in the case was shot in the arm. The state therefore would recommend on aggravated assault 20,000, possession of firearm 10,000, possession of firearm by convicted felon 10,000, and to the extent that she is released, that obviously it would be to the hold, obviously. So.
All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Stay away from 176 Troy Street Northwest. Does she need to return one time with law enforcement?
No, Judge. Currently, her mother has her belongings.
All right. No further contact with Terrence, Terrance, Milton, Milton. You have a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment, and any participation in the Women on the Rise program. 20,000, 7,000, and 7,000. Best of luck to you, ma'am. Let's see. Edward Blunt. Oh, who else do we have here? How about Tatiana Ferris?
Judge, may I be excused as well?
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Tatiana Ferris. Is that her? Are you Miss Ferris? Thumbs up. Perfect. Number 8, Bostic 23, CP 221621, 100 days without indictment, no bond as of September the 7th. Aggravated assault. Pre-trial.
Just a second. What did I do with it? I misplaced my notes. I can't find it. I just had it.
Yeah, this could use some editing. But cocktailing makes it go better
Sorry,
anyway.
guys. I just had it. It was on the same paper with Miss what's her face.
I know I had mine all stacked all over the place too, so I'll excuse you this one time, Bostic.
Yes.
They like that clean Boy Scout look,
She
apparently.
wrote on the same page as the lady I just read, and I can't find it. Ah, there it is. It's up on the computer. Quick prior cycles. A battery in 2014, 2 FTAs, 2016 and 18 disorderly conduct in Clayton. Open case for obstruction, 21 CR 006633B.
All right. Go ahead, Miss Kidderbrew.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Parrish is 28 years old. She does have a valid address in the Atlanta area, so it would be in Fulton County. She is a lifelong Georgia resident. She did graduate from high school. She also attended 2 years of Arkansas Baptist College. She is the mother of 2 children who she's been away from while being incarcerated, again, 100 days. She does have family support. Her mother does assist her. She was working at the varsity prior to being arrested. She was arrested on September 6th. She had a preliminary hearing on November 9th. We're asking for a total bond not to exceed $10,000.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Thank you, Your Honor. It is my understanding that one of the victims in the case is on the call.
Let's see.
Dale Robinson.
Yeah.
Are
Sir,
you? Are you?
start-
Yeah, I'm right here.
You start your camera, sir. All right. Are you wanting to speak, Mr. Robinson?
Yeah.
All
I
right,
don't
if you
think
raise-
you need
oh,
the bump
if you-
phone.
Sir, if you do me a favor, if you raise your right hand for me.
All
There
right.
you go. All right. Yes, sir. You swear affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Williams. You have questions or?
Absolutely. Mr. Robinson, you are here to speak about the case involving Ms. Ferris, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you please tell the court how you feel at this point about Ms. Ferris being granted a bond? She has been incarcerated at this point for 100 days without indictment.
Right. Well, I'm just telling you, just like I tell them, I don't feel like that there. I feel frightened for my life. You understand that? She done queen me and my wife, so hey, she didn't feel sorry for us. And I don't feel right for her, for she to be out on the street.
Okay, so
she's a stinky bee.
Under the law, sir, she has been in 100 days. So that's over 90 days. So I do have to give her a bond. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to place you back on mute. Go ahead, Ms. Williams. Anything else, Ms. Kennebrew?
Yes, Your Honor, I apologize. I did not mention that she has been accepted into the Women on the Rise program. Ms. Trendalyn Browning is on in support of Ms. Farish, and this is a program that will help with reentry into society, help with employment should she need it, and any other things that she may need, Your Honor.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Thank you, Your Honor. The allegation is that Ms. Ferris started shooting into a crowd, and people at multiple addresses said that they either heard the gunshots, believed that they saw bullet damage at their residences or at their addresses. So the state at this point, and also due to the fact that there's, I believe Ms. Bostic mentioned more than one FTA, the state at this point would recommend $50,000 bond.
All right.
Your Honor, I don't have the warrant in front of me. Did it allege that Ms. Ferris shot at, or was it the alleged co-person, Ms.
So it
Williams?
says,
I didn't get a chance to get back to my office, so I don't have the file.
This says, did shoot at the victim, Dale Robertson, with a gun, which when used defensively, likely or actually does result in serious body injury. She came to the victim's wife's, I guess, home balloon release and started shooting because she was not invited to the event. Mr. Deal stated he's known the suspect for 39 years.
Well, I mean, she wasn't invited. You know, you'd be upset too.
Because she's on his wife's side of the family.
And
She's only 28, but that, okay, Your Honor. I just wanted to verify that it said that she allegedly shot at.
Yes. So the allegation in the warrant is that there was an individual, perhaps named JJ, who shot first, and then allegedly passed the gun to Miss Ferris, who then also fired the weapon.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted clarity.
And is JJ an alleged co-defendant?
I don't believe that he has been charged at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Stay away from 399 Holly Street. No further contact with Dale, D-A-L-E Robinson, R-O-B-I-N-S-O-N. Spelled wrong on the warrant, looks like. No further contact with Martha Holmes, H-O-L-M-E-S, and, okay, sorry, I got this. Arlissa, A-R-L-I-S-A Robinson. I think that's it, right, Ms. Williams?
So I also saw that Sylvester Robinson was listed, Latarsha Herbert, and Garland Jackson.
All right. So Garland Jackson, Latarsha Herbert, and what was the other one?
Sylvester Robinson.
Sylvester Robinson. All right. You're going to have a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment, and any participation in the Women on the Rise program. And Ms. Kennebrew will get us a transport order, and any participation there, employment. You have to let your lawyer know where you're going, where you're working, name of your employer, and exact location you'll be working. And no further contact with whomever JJ is. I don't see a name other than JJ. I'm assuming they'll provide her a place to live.
She has a place, Your Honor, but yes, they will assist her if she needed a different location.
All right. $50,000 good bond. Best of luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I also wanted to withdraw my motion for Paul Nelson. It was filed in error.
Is that the last one? Okay.
That's on the add-on calendar, position 2.
Okay. All right. Thank you,
And
ma'am.
that would conclude my business. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You as well.
All right. Do we have Kamaya Fredericks? Any luck getting in touch with Mr. Nobles, Miss Eustace? Yes, Miss Eustace left too. All right, let's see. Kamaya Fredericks, number 7, Bostic, 23 CP.
I haven't seen this. I don't know what happens. We're almost at the end. I don't care. I'm riding this to the end. This is the last night stream of the year. I'm finishing this project at this point.
220692, 134 days without indictment. There is a $2,500 split bond as of August the 3rd with no bond on ag assault and $2,500 on theft by taking misdemeanor. Free trial.
2 prior cycles, open case for disorderly conduct and criminal trespass, other cases in Missouri for harassment and private images. Nothing further.
Go ahead, Mr. Cyrus. It's just easier for me to say that.
Understood, Your Honor. It's actually Cirrus.
Siri, I can mess it all up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll get next year. I'll be better. I promise. I'll work on it.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Fredericks is 24 years old. She is actually a resident of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She was living here in Atlanta from 2020 to just right up until this incident. She was attending Clark Atlanta. If released on bond, her intention is to go back to Philadelphia and reside there with her mother at 2426 77th Avenue in Philadelphia. She does have work waiting for her there at a company, Empire Management, doing door-to-door sales. She's also working on getting her real estate license. They are just waiting for her to be released for her to re-enroll in order to complete that and begin working as a real estate agent once she receives that certification. Your Honor, she's 24 years old. She's been in custody now 134 days, no indictment and no bond. So, of course, she's entitled to a bond tonight. Your Honor, at this time, we would be asking for a bond in total not to exceed $8,000, $1,000 on the misdemeanor, $7,000 on the aggravated assault. As you heard, she has limited history and nonviolent history, no felony convictions. And she has a good support network waiting for her in Philadelphia. Additionally, Your Honor, she was living in Philadelphia when these warrants were put out on her. She was notified by the sheriff's office and actually came down to Philadelphia to turn herself in. We don't believe she's a flight risk or anything of the sort. And so once again, we're asking for a bond here not to exceed $7,000, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Thank you, Your Honor. I was informed that Ms. Akintokun, the victim in the matter, would be on the call. I do not see her. I don't know if maybe she's using someone else's cell phone. Morgan, Akintokun. Are you on the call?
I think your victim was on earlier. I'm not sure if she's already left.
I see. Well, Your Honor, I do have a victim impact statement that I would like to read.
Sure, go ahead.
Honorable Judge, Ms. Fredericks has caused a great deal of pain to my overall well-being. I will never be the same after she assaulted me. I'm constantly afraid someone will attack me, steal my belongings, and injure me again. My upper left eye area is under reconstruction, and I fear that my facial appearance will never be the same. Since I was assaulted, I wake up with headaches. Almost being blinded by Ms. Fredericks throwing a glass object at my head has been indescribable. I try not to replay the incident in my head, but it is impossible while suffering from PTSD. Ms. Fredericks' crime has also had a deep financial impact on myself and my family. Everyday life has drastically changed for me as I am not able to work. Due to my inability to work, I am at a loss of wages to support myself and my family. I am under 24-hour surveillance due to the assault and in active counseling. I cannot sleep at night. My daily activities were interrupted. I do not feel safe, even with my protective order against Ms. Fredericks. due to her history, which is not limited to myself, leads me to believe that she is a threat, and I do not agree with bond. Respectfully submitted. Your Honor, due to the victim's position in the case, we would defer to the court's authority. We do, of course, recognize that the defendant is statutorily entitled to a bond. So we will defer to the court's authority on that.
So understand, it says here on the previous bond order that there is an outstanding TPO in Cobb with the same victim.
Correct, that's my understanding.
Was that a violation of that TPO? Do you know?
I'm really not sure of the timeline as to when the TPO was
put in place.
Your Honor, my understanding is that the TPO arose out of this same incident.
Okay.
She filed it in Cobb County, so it's not a separate incident.
All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Stay away from 779 Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard in Atlanta, Georgia. Also, stay out of Fulton County. The only reason you come back to Fulton County, ma'am, is court and to see your lawyer. That is the absolute only reason you come back to Fulton County. Got it? You have a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment. You have to supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you'll be working. No further contact with Morgan, last name Akintokun. 30,000 and 2,500. Best of luck to you, sir, ma'am. Sorry. You can leave the booth. All right. So.
And Your Honor, that concludes my business for tonight, if I may be excused.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good evening. All right.
Thank
So
you.
I had one announcement as it relates to Blunt that's listed on the calendar. The
Right.
jail says they're unable to produce him. I don't know if they wanted to have the case reset or if the attorney is able to waive his client's presence.
Mr. Rogalski, I always say, ask them if you can waive in case stuff like this happens. Did you happen to remember to do that?
Well, I will be. I've had trouble getting in contact, so I will be waiving his presence, and I'm sure he will be fine with that, Your Honor.
All right. Position 4, Bostic 23 CP 220745, 133 days without indictment. There is a $10,000 good bond as of October the 11th. Possession of firearm by convicted felon and aggravated assault. Pre-trial.
With regards to Mr. Blunt, 33 cycles, repeat offender, FTA, couple of probation violations, battery. Manufacture, sale marijuana, 2014, nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Rogalski.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Blunt is 54 years of age. He has an address of 755 Kennesaw Drive in Forest Park, Georgia, where his mother lives. He's been in Georgia for the past 20 years, so he is significantly familiar with the area and has been here for a long time. His past employment was doing labor pool work, so he has a variety of different employable skills for after he gets out. He also has his GED and has completed high school. He has 3 children. He's okay with staying away from the incident location, as well as no further contact with the victim listed. And Your Honor, he's been in for 133 days, and it's clear that he is unable to afford the bond. Due to his indigent status, we would be asking for a bond not to exceed $3,000 in aggregate, so maybe $1,500 per charge. Thank you, Your Honor.
Go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, the state would recommend on the charge of possession of firearm by convicted felon, 4,000 and 4,000 on the aggravated assault. We would also request a stay away from the victim, Robert Burgess, and stay away from Marta.
All right. Is he still going to live in Forest Park, Mr. Rogalski, as far as you know?
As far as I know, Your Honor, yes.
All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 2848 Main Street in East Point. Stay out of East Point. Stay away from MARTA, all MARTA stations, all MARTA stations, all MARTA property. You have a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, and employment. He must supply the name of his employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location he'll be working. Also, stay out of Fulton County for court or to see his lawyer. No further contact with Robert Burgess. 4,000 on each count. Thank you, Mr. Rogalski. So what do we know about Harvey Jordan and still Mr. Nobles?
I have not heard from Mr. Nobles, and I'm going to assume Ms. Eustace has not either. I don't know if Mr. Nobles probably checked his email after work hours. So
Harvey Jordan was listed at ACDC, but they disconnected. I'm not sure. Let me see if Lieutenant can find out.
Okay.
also, Your Honor, that concludes my business for the evening. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a happy holiday.
Thank you. You too. Sorry about that, Mr. Pryor.
I can reset his case, Judge.
Yeah, he's got a $7,500 good bond right now. Let's see. And who's covering this one for Bray? Wait, we don't have any more lawyers on here.
No, Judge, do you want me just to reset that one as well?
I mean, I guess so.
I don't know what's going on. Okay.
Who? All right, Mr. Pryor, we'll reset yours, okay? And we'll reach out to him and remind him, and maybe he could reach out to one of the ADAs and see if he can get a consent bond to reduce yours, okay? Thank you for being patient, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah, I guess we could reset both of them. So I'm like, wait, there are no lawyers here. All right, anything else?
Oh, I think Mr. Pryor is asking if he's good to leave.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. All right, nothing else. Looks like that is it for night court for 2023.
And what a year it was.
Amen. So, but I will see you tomorrow. And it looks like on that one, Mr. Cazzoli is covering one. It looks like two of them on the afternoon. Miss Williams are reset for ex partes.
Yes, that's what I understood as well.
Yeah, so we'll just have that to one case. Oh, and that's the one. Don't let the ADA forget about that one, because that's when they were asking for an ankle monitor removal, when we're trying to find someone to pay for that ankle monitor.
Okay.
Okay. I forget Mr. Sprinkle.
Okay.
Yeah, it was he was on that one. All right, there you have it. We did the whole thing. We closed it out. We closed out 2023 with Judge Manning for night court. Good times. Thank y'all for hanging in there. That was a lot of fun, actually. that stream went all over the place. I don't know. I don't remember much, other than the guy taking the swim in the holy water and doing Emily Baker dirty. There's a lot of other fun stuff in there as well. All right, thank y'all. I appreciate it. Be safe. I'll see y'all soon.